But then February 20th, yesterday, there was a joint statement by STB and MCCY confirming that they gave a grant to Taylor Swift.
Yes, Taylor Swift, a grant application approved. She's like us, she's just like one of us. Need to apply for grant, fill up form, everything.
I just imagine like at 11:58 p.m. Taylor Swift is at her laptop like, fuck, I need to get this done by 11:59. Fuck, shit, damn it. And this episode of the Yalabat podcast is brought to you by Octa.
So if you've been thinking about doing something in the world of trading, say hello to the Octa trading app, a globally regulated CFD broker.
Now, there's a lot to learn when it comes to trading, but the app makes it super easy for beginners to start.
The Octa trading app is very simple to use and quite user-friendly and allows you to trade on 300 plus instruments including stocks, currencies and even precious metals with zero commissions.
Now, one thing that is super useful is their demo account, which allows you to test yourself using virtual money with no risk at all.
Until you're actually ready to start and potentially make some earnings at a schedule that works for you.
And you can rest assured that the Octa trading app tries to make it as safe as possible. Octa has been around for 12 years and is a globally regulated broker. They've won more than 60 industry awards across 180 countries, including one for the broker with the fastest withdrawals in Singapore for 2023.
But of course, trading always comes with risks and requires knowledge to work. And we're not trading gurus by any means. We just want to let people know that this option exists.
At the end of the day, please remember to only trade with what you can afford.
So the Octa trading app also has a ton of free education materials to get you up to speed.
So if you would like to give it a try, download the Octa trading app at the link in the description or scan this QR code and use this promo code to double your first deposit.
And now, on to the podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor. Why the pause, man?
No, I was just gonna build on the what. What with humor.
Humor. It's still technically Chinese New Year, right?
It is, yeah. Chinese New Year is very long.
15 days, right?
15 days, yeah.
So you're still celebrating, huh?
Still doing some visiting. I mean, not say visiting, but like you meet up with people, yeah.
During the week or say for the weekends?
Sometimes during the week, people come play dates, my kids and things like that, Yeah. So it's still a very festive mood,
Still festive, 2 weeks, But do you feel festive?
I mean, inevitably, you with kids, you will feel a bit more festive, They enjoy it a lot more, than adults.
Yeah, which makes you enjoy it more, is it?
Yeah, you learn to see it through new eyes and get excited about things that you get very jaded about, like lion dance or dragon dance and things like that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
So you're not the Grinch anymore?
Less so.
Less so,
Yeah, I think you have to live through the experience to understand it,
I see.
Yeah, indirectly I'm saying that kind of, wait until you got kids,
Yeah, I know. It's fucking annoying uncle statement,
Yeah.
It's like,
I never say.
Don't bother to try to explain to someone. Just say, wait till you have your own thing,
Yeah, but I never say. I just said you kind of got to live through the experience.
Yeah, but that's a more snobbish way of saying it even more. Because the basic one will be, wait till you have kids, but no, this one you have to live through the experience.
Correct. It's like telling a Swiftie, don't you go to a live concert? I just watched the Eras concert movie, that's it, can already.
How is that the same?
Like, don't have to live through it, I just tell you already can already,
Oh,
kind of thing, yeah.
So you're saying it's the opposite, Because you were telling me that you only understand once you live through it. So,
so
it's like if you went to the concert and I haven't been, tell me what the concert is like. It's like, wait till you go.
Yeah. Correct. Kind of thing, yeah.
I see.
Very relevant to our topics today.
Very relevant. I mean, this first topic damn fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Because there were rumours about it, which you even alluded to in the podcast with Reggie.
Yeah. And now it's real. But before that, what's your take on Chinese New Year now? Like, you're just...
I feel like it came and went, man.
Came and went already?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Generally, unless I'm going to, say, Chinatown or something where there are a lot of decorations, everywhere else feels the same. Like, the music, are they still playing Chinese New Year music at grocery?
Yeah.
Maybe now it's just desensitized to it.
Tail end already,
Tail end. And maybe also the music now is less on the nose.
Really?
I don't know, because last time I remember, like, even for any festival, when it's damn on the nose, after a while, it's like, oh my god, okay. It's like a children's school.
Correct. And then I don't know if you remember, like previous years, or at least last time I remember, there's always like a MediaCorp got Chinese New Year song and like a video and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I haven't
On
seen
TV
one
or online?
going around, making its rounds around where all the
Oh.
artists all come out and dance and all that. But this year I haven't seen anything like that except from Jian House, the Titan Digital Media, their Chinese New Year song, which was filmed in like giant supermarket or something like that.
Yeah. So that's why for me it's like Chinese New Year, we came and went. I just see the posters and all here and there. But it really doesn't feel like that festive.
Okay. Yeah. That's a common theme. I think a lot of people have talked about this lack of, I would not say lack, but less festivity.
The next festive holiday is Hari Raya. Because Ramadan is also starting in March, right?
Is it March or April? March.
March, yeah. Wait, let me fact check that. Fact check that. It is starting March 10th. March 10th. But yeah, after Taylor Swift is gone. Wow, lucky.
Lucky.
Yeah. Taylor Swift is gone when?
Gone? What do you mean gone?
As in from Singapore Taylor Swift Singapore 2024. Lucky we got laptops, huh?
Yes.
It is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 7th, 8th, 9th.
Wow, yeah.
Walao.
5, 6. That means she'll be on the 5th and 6th. She's just hanging around, not doing anything.
Chilling,
Yeah. Well, right after that is Ramadan.
Yeah,
and after you let your hair down at Taylor Swift. Time to clean up, folks. Yeah.
Walao. But yeah, so before we jump into Taylor Swift, what is our regular spiel, Terence?
That if you're new to this podcast, welcome. And I hope you subscribe or follow us wherever you are listening to this or watching this. Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Because it does help us a lot in terms of understanding who likes to listen to this podcast, as well as recommending it to other people who might actually find joy in it.
Find joy in it. I see, yeah. And if you want to work with us, you can reach out to us at contact@ministryofunny.com. That's if you're a brand or an individual. We have 3 internship roles open now for project management, business development, and social media marketing.
Yeah.
All the job descriptions are in the show notes. So hit us up if you're interested.
Yes.
Because we growing, baby. We growing.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, let's jump right into this one topic that we, like you mentioned, we talked about with Reggie when talking about the Singapore budget. But seems to have blown up a little bit since then, right?
Yeah. I guess back then, just like a week ago, there were allegations or like rumours that was started because the Thai Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin said on last Friday, so that would be 16th February, at an event that he was speaking, that Singapore sought a deal that prevented Taylor Swift from playing elsewhere in Southeast Asia for her ongoing Eras tour.
Yeah.
Apparently, someone from the concert promoter AEG told him that the Singapore government offered subsidies of up to $3 million US per show for each of her 6 concerts.
Yeah.
So, it was a rumor. It was like someone dropping tea on an international leaders level.
Yeah.
But then February 20th, yesterday, there was a joint statement by STB and MCCY. Confirming that they gave a grant to Taylor Swift.
Yes, Taylor Swift, a grant application approved. She's like us, she's just like one of us. Need to apply for grant, fill up form, everything.
I just imagine at 11:58 p.m. Taylor Swift is at a laptop fuck, I need to get this done by 11:59. Fuck, shit, damn it. Yeah. So it's funny As literally the headline of the article is STB gave grant for Taylor Swift concerts. And with the whole rationale saying that, it would have major benefits for the Singapore economy.
Yeah.
They didn't specify that it was an all-exclusive concert, exclusive to Southeast Asia. That was only alleged by the Thai Prime Minister.
Yeah, that's right.
So, articles all around the world are popping up. But before we dive in, what are your thoughts, Terence?
It's quite interesting to speak about because it's just off the back of last weekend. I attended the Ed Sheeran concert, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
I did not share that dismay that you shared about your experience at Coldplay.
Yeah. Half dismay.
Half dismay, where the first half you didn't enjoy that, right?
Yeah.
I was seated in those, higher seats, but I had a great view. And the sound system, I don't know, they tweaked it somehow during the show where it went from okay to actually really good. And because Ed Sheeran's performances are all about his voice and his music, right? it just really shone through lah. And I was like very pleasantly surprised at the quality of the audio at the stadium. Similar to your experience, it was very orderly. No stampedes or anything like to get in. Getting out was a bit of an issue, but still, like I mean, concerts are manageable. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, it was great experience, man. I would say even the heat did not bother me in the stadium because of the circulation or something. So yeah, I just freaking loved it.
Yeah, because I remember before going to Coldplay, you were saying, National Stadium acoustics are shit.
Yeah.
But then now you're like,
I'm won over.
You're won over. La.
I guess there must be some like engineer at work, lah, right? Like tweaking. Because you can imagine a stadium empty versus a stadium filled with like 55,000 people, whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to sound very different, lah, right? And someone probably on the fly has to be doing something. La.
And because Ed Sheeran only had one concert at National Stadium.
Yeah.
Whereas Coldplay, Taylor Swift, they have 6.
Yeah. So there was this feeling of like they've got to make this work now.
Make this work.
And then I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think also philosophically because it did not occur to me how long his music has accompanied us all, right? In pop music. Like you might not know the name of the song, but you would recognize the tune because you've heard it a lot before. La.
Yeah.
So all the way from like the early 2000s, or late 2000s to like today. La. Like there are songs along the way that I recognize this song and I can sing along. And
but how does that inform what you feel about Taylor Swift and the grunts?
No, then it kind of made me realize, this concert thing really provides this buzz around the city, right? When you're preparing to go for the concert, when you're planning what to do, what to eat, where to stay, all that after the concert.
Yeah.
So just taking that one experience, which I think, just as an aside, Ed Sheeran was very proudly announcing during the concert that this was the biggest selling music performance or something like that in Asia, like ever. Like it broke their record. And the largest one on his Asia stop or something like that during the show. He was making these announcements and saying how proud he was of it. And I suspect it might be so because he had his stage was in the middle of the stadium. So everything could be filled up. From what I understand, Coldplay was only 3/4 of the stadium being used, right?
Yeah.
And I believe Taylor Swift might also be something similar.
Because Ed Sheeran performed right in the middle.
Yeah. So the stage was actually quite small relative to the size of the stadium. Yeah. So he was very proud of it. He spoke Chinese, he spoke Malay, he said terima kasih, I think, and even said huat at one point. And then he brought on JJ Lin, Singapore's very Singaporean singer. So it was very, very engaging for Singaporeans.
Yeah.
But I understand also that it's because it's one night only and in Singapore that this was probably more Singaporean residents in the audience compared to what would be at a Coldplay or Taylor Swift concert. Which is why the talk of like bringing tourism dollars is very big for this Taylor Swift thing. And why it's such a big deal.
So going back to my question, how does that inform you about your thoughts on Taylor Swift?
Oh, that.
Fuck Terrence. I asked you that like 2 hours ago.
Sorry. It's just that we spent so much time raving or talking about your Coldplay experience that I had to balance it with my
Don't bring it back to me, okay? I had to ask you once, then you went on this long spiel. Okay, fine, yes. Ask you again, long spiel again. Now third time, Terrence, please give me your thoughts.
No, I think
Taylor Swift, but not Ed Sheeran.
So while there, obviously, I was just thinking about the numbers because of the capacity of the stadium, 55,000. And what the average price of a ticket would be there, right? $100, maybe $150. $100 if you include all the sponsorships or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you have 55,000 people, you're talking about easily 7 million. Wait, where am I? I'm doing my math wrongly. But I say $100 average per ticket, right?
Her tickets are...
No, I'm talking about Ed Sheeran.
Oh, Ed Sheeran.
So 55,000 seats, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about
60,000.
60,000. Okay. 6 million, right? Basically, just in ticket revenue alone.
Yeah.
Then you don't add in sponsorships and, partnership with Chris Fly and stuff like that. I mean, so reasonably, you could expect him to be making somewhere between 6 to 10 million, right? Off the back of one concert.
Yeah.
So how much would you have to pay, an artist like that to make them only play the concert in your country?
Yeah.
That's the big question. And then came up to this Taylor Swift thing where talking about 2 to 3 million USD per concert.
That's alleged lah.
Alleged. But it tells you that, that she's leaving money on the table lah, right? As in she could have made more money by going to other countries and staging concerts there. But somehow the grant or something else has persuaded her, okay, I'd rather just stay in Singapore and do this lah, right? So yeah, that's why the Ed Sheeran concert is relevant to this discussion also lah.
So you still gave me all the mathematical calculations and all.
Yeah, correct.
What do you think about it, Terence?
Oh, that's a separate question lah. I think it's a follow-up question.
But then what did I ask?
No, but why the Ed Sheeran concert is relevant to this discussion?
No, my original question was, what are your thoughts about Taylor Swift?
Oh, okay.
Oh my
so
God,
I talked about the Ed Sheeran concert and why I came to this.
This whole Taylor Swift thing.
Yeah. And again, relative to what we are alluding to at the budget discussion with Reggie, is that Singapore we are finding ways to make Singapore more attractive to people, right? To come here and do business and to do work. That is beyond just money, like how much money you can make. There are other things like safety, security, maybe logistics as well that make Singapore a more attractive place to do a concert lah.
Yeah.
And so today we might be deep diving into some of these. What are these other reasons that other than just money that Taylor Swift might be here, right?
Okay lah. So to summarize your thoughts is that you feel there is more to Singapore than just the money for Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you forgot the part about Ed Sheeran's concert. It was very fun. It was awesome.
Okay, can. All right. Okay, cool.
I can sense your bitterness.
Because I'm like, fuck, you've been talking the past 10 minutes already. You know how difficult it is for me to not talk around.
I know. That's why welcome to my world.
Oh my God.
My day-to-day world.
So I mean, like what you said, it's true lah, because I think each concert, like what you mentioned was at an average ticket price of $100, right?
Yeah.
Her tickets start at 160 something and they go up to like 1,200.
Yeah.
So, and it's sold out lah. I think they sold 300,000 tickets. No?
Yeah. So that's about 50,000 per show lah, right?
Yeah, 50,000 per show. And that's a shit ton of money lah.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, like there is no mention of any revenue share. There is no mention of anything else. This is just the grant lah. It's almost like to offset, I don't know, the cost or something.
I would say when the specific use of the word grant means that there's no return on the investment directly. It's just money. Here's money.
Yeah. And I think the because for the month of March, I think the airline tickets and hotel stays all have had a huge surge.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of people flying in lah.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I mean, okay, on one hand, it's bringing Taylor Swift to Singapore, somewhat exclusive because she's only stopping in Japan and Australia, the whole of Asia Pacific.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, do you think it's a good thing, Terence? I'm making it very clear. Do you think it's Taylor Swift, not Ed Sheeran, is a good this grant or getting her to perform 6 shows in Singapore? And if it's allegedly Southeast Asia exclusive or even Asia exclusive, aside from Japan.
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's a brilliant move. You compare it to something like F1, for example, which is really only like one race, right? One weekend. The cost of organizing F1 versus the cost of housing a Taylor Swift concert in an otherwise, what else will you be using your sports hub for, right?
Yeah.
Remember this sports hub? There was the whole hoo-ha of initially it was a public-private partnership. Managing sports hub, and then after now it comes directly under the government by MCCY. This is a power move, right? This is like, hey, we're making this a fucking vibrant place where people want to fly here and spend money here and be here to watch the concerts. And we're going to showcase how great our venue is.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that we need to show the vibrancy of our place? But other than having probably the world's biggest pop star now choose to house herself here for more than a week to just play concerts for everyone in the region.
Yeah. I mean, I also think as much as it's so easy to shit on things that is done, I think this is also a fucking genius move. Because if you think about it, now the NDP is not going to be done at National Stadium for a long time, if ever again, right?
Yeah.
Because they're building the whole, what's that?
NS Square.
NS Square, right? Because whenever there's NDP, the whole weekend in the lead up is burn, right?
Yeah.
So you can't do anything external. Obviously, the sports side of the National Stadium is going to be underutilized.
Yeah.
So to do this, right, and then you start thinking about it because, like, I remember when I went for the Coldplay concert, even though I didn't take the train back,
Yeah.
I heard like decent things about the train, lah. In the sense, it was crowded, yes, but it was moving very fast, and all the staff were very like trained and on the ball.
Yeah.
Did you? You didn't? You also walked and then took a bus or
I
something?
walked and took a bus, lah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just didn't want to. I just want to avoid having
crowds, lah, right.
lah. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
walked somewhere where there was a accessible bus, lah.
Yeah.
But there was still crowds even where I walked, lah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, do you talk to anyone who used the train? Because some of my friends who used the train, they said, yeah, it's crowded, but it's
Yeah.
moving fast.
Yeah.
And like there was no sense of like claustrophobia or something.
I talked to other people who went for Coldplay and used the train. They were like, yeah,
Same
that's
thing,
fine.
right?
Yeah.
So then you think about, oh shit, maybe like it totally makes sense for the whole area to be like a concert, like a
Hub.
concert hub, lah. Like any concert promoter, it'd be like a concert or like orgasm, lah, over there.
Yeah.
Because everything, the location is city fringe. It's not in the CBD or anything, but it's on the fringe of the city. The MRT is right there.
Yeah.
If all the staff are used to concert sizes like this, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Right. And then I was thinking like, the grant and all. Then I was also thinking, if I was a fan in the rest of Asia, I'll be pissed, lah. Because apparently Philippines was the fifth highest number of streams of Taylor Swift around the world.
Oh yeah.
And I think in Asia she has the biggest fan base there.
I see.
So I can imagine people are just annoyed that she's not going there, lah.
Yeah.
But then I think in 2014 she had to cancel her concert in Thailand because there was a military coup.
Yeah.
Right. A few months ago there was that band 1975 that got a lot of backlash in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Coldplay, did they have a run-in? They didn't perform in Malaysia, right?
Because there was a bit of the conservatives made a lot of noise about Coldplay, lah.
Yeah, lah.
Yeah.
So then like if you think about it from Taylor Swift's point of view, because on one hand, I'm thinking, as an artist, and her branding is pretty solid, lah, right?
Yep.
She is all about going everywhere in the world. This tour is what 2 years, 2 years long.
Yeah.
But in Asia, she's only stopping where, like Singapore and Japan and Australia. Lah.
Yeah.
And you think how big Asia is?
Yeah.
She's stopping like so many other places.
Yeah.
So then I'm thinking, is it going to hurt her brand? Because on one hand, like you as an artist, you want to performing live and you're seeing your favorite artist is a huge thing, lah.
Yeah.
But that is just like, it's not factoring into this, lah. So that's what I'm thinking, like from her perspective, from a team's perspective, that means the benefit of Singapore, like what you said, lah, is not just monetary anymore.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
And I saw some chatter online also saying, even if you think about the stage equipment, right?
Yeah.
It like, I'm guessing like a full plane or two follows her with all the equipment.
Sure.
So if you house it in Singapore, you don't need to travel that much. Singapore's comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what else? What else is in the goodie bag for Taylor Swift? Yeah.
Yeah. And the figures are quite staggering, lah. Like I think Washington Post estimated that Taylor Swift's fans, on average, they spend about 93 million USD per show. That means tickets, merchandise, travels, hotel, food, and everything, lah.
Oh, is it?
So that's how much, like, additional stuff around the concert it brings to the US economy, lah. Every time Taylor Swift has a concert, lah. 93 million USD.
So maybe once you factor all that in, it's still, because like what you said, there is money that she's leaving on the table if she say perform in Thailand 2 shows, Philippines 2 shows, and all that, in addition to the Singapore 6 shows. Like.
Yeah.
Don't know whether she might still be able to sell out 6 shows. She probably will be able to.
Yeah.
But the spending power of the currency in Thailand and Philippines and Indonesia is not as strong as Singapore.
Correct. Yeah.
So if people are going to be buying merchandise, transacting in a strong currency also makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, you go on the Swifties Reddit and all that, people they have done rankings of the GDP per capita of all the countries that she's going touring in.
Very high, is it?
So, yeah, I mean, minimum, I think we would say Brazil is like 10K USD or something. But a lot of the other Southeast Asian countries are below that also, you see. So, end up, they're saying that obviously she has to make choice. She's not like doing a tour. She stops at every country. I mean, she's not going to Africa, for example, the whole continent, right?
Yeah.
So she really has to be selective about which one she go to. And the reality is, countries with more spending power is probably a bigger thing for her, and even for the local economy also. The the kind of trickle down effects and everything.
Trickle down economics.
Yeah.
Trickle down
So
economics.
if you think about it, if Singapore really spent 2 to 3 million USD per show, it's a real bargain. If the amount that you can get back from it in terms of tourism and people spending in Singapore is like comes up to like 90 over USD million. Right?
But I'm just thinking like how, because it's hard to even imagine for Taylor Swift. She's like a walking phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
To be able to be convinced to do all her concerts in just one country out of a region, right?
Yeah.
It sounds mind-boggling. So whoever managed to do this is fucking ballers, yeah.
Remember last year, I think Edwin Tong was the one who announced it on his Facebook.
Yeah.
So it tells you what he's so busy with until he unfortunately had some health complications earlier.
And also,
probably he was very busy with that.
And Tan Chuan Jin Gate, what?
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
He also involved that.
Yeah, so it's damn crazy. And I mean, I think what MCCY and STB did with this joint statement is also damn smart.
Yeah.
Because there were those rumors, right? In fact, when you mentioned it on the podcast with Reggie, I was like, for real?
Yeah.
Really, man? Where you get this rumor
you're
from?
You're doubting me again.
Of course, I was doubting, of course.
Classic.
Classic. But then for them to come out and make a statement, in some way it's good because it says, we gave her a grant.
Yeah.
So it's a win for them, man.
Yeah. No, and I mean, the reason why I was kind of like hesitant to talk about it so openly during the last podcast was because I don't know whether it's true. And I didn't want to like later we get POFMA or something like, you know. But as stuff started coming out, I felt okay lah. I think at least validated that it's true lah, right? But I mean, the in Singapore, unfortunately, if you don't POFMA news like that, right, where someone makes such big claims about how much government money is being spent on that, means it must be true lah. If it's not POFMA, it's true lah, right?
But they cannot POFMA the Thai Prime Minister.
But they can POFMA the media outlets that reported
was it a Singapore outlet that reported it?
Now it's in the Straits Times, right? So you can, if Straits Times got it wrong, you can POFMA Straits Times. Yeah. That's the thing, lah. That's how POFMA works, right?
Yeah.
So it's not been POFMA, and they had to come out with a statement that verified that Taylor Swift is a grant recipient of the Singapore Tourism Board.
But now it makes MCCY and STB look pretty like solid negotiators also, lah. You know, for them to be able to get this.
Yeah, but actually, I was just thinking because you mentioned it earlier that she cancelled the tour in Thailand. I mean, her concert stopped in Thailand the last time because of the military coup and everything, lah. Right? Actually, I don't think they officially said it was because of that, lah. Right? But more likely than not, it's because of that. And I think recently Taylor Swift also got into something where she was suing someone who was, I think, tracking the movements of her private jet flying around as well, right? And then saying that for all her talk about climate change, all these things, isn't she being a hypocrite, lah, right? So in some sense, maybe the choice of Singapore is also that she wants to avoid any kind of controversy, like what the 1975 experience in Malaysia, like what Coldplay experienced with politics in Malaysia, right? The conservatives in Malaysia. But I don't even recall. So there was a point where I think the Filipino president, Marcos, also took a helicopter to go and watch Coldplay's concert to skip all the traffic in Philippines, which apparently is very bad. And he got a lot of flack for taking the helicopter, right?
Yeah.
Because people were like, come on, this is not like the sign of like inequality or what is, right? Yeah. So there's all these kind of controversies with like very big global acts going to, other Southeast Asian countries, right? That whether socially or economically, there are certain issues that on the ground that need to be ironed out, right? So maybe in choosing Singapore is partially also she just doesn't want any kind of like this kind of controversy, because Singapore generally is quite safe,
good boy,
secular, all these things, right? But this, in some sense, is. Do you think it's controversial that it will be seen in a negative light? What she's doing in keeping her tour exclusive to Singapore?
I think depends by who lah. I think certain fans in outside Asia, I'm sure they'll be pissed off, right? I was thinking more from like, is there any but to this for Singapore?
For Singapore?
Yeah.
You look like an asshole, right? You look like the rich asshole in the region.
But then, if you think about it, like maybe it's because, like, let's say you're bidding for the Olympics or World Cup, it is known as a bid, right?
Yeah.
And like if you want like Netflix to set up their Asia HQ. They come to Singapore. It's also like they are negotiating.
Yeah.
Whereas for an artist, it's almost like the romantic ideal of art and as a singer, it's not the commercial side of things, but it's the artistry.
Yeah.
But this one makes it sound a lot more of the
Commercial.
non-artistry, I would say non-artistry stuff.
Yeah.
Which is a very real concern.
Yeah.
But then it feels like, wow, this is the Taylor Swift machine at work.
Yeah.
As opposed to Taylor Swift as an individual.
Correct.
Yeah,
but I mean, Taylor Swift aside, right? Because she goes where she wants to go, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's money or personal reasons, everything. But do you feel like we are being bad neighbors? If it's true that we told Taylor Swift, I mean, we meaning like the Singapore government or STB told Taylor Swift, you can come here, we'll give you money to come here and perform 6 shows, but you cannot do it anywhere else in Asia, in Southeast Asia. Like, do you think that's a very bad move? Like, they're like, immediately like, maybe we have to consider not doing the other stops because there's this grant that is available to us, and it'll make things easier and we can just like do a lot of shows. Do you think you should feel offended as a neighbor of Singapore that Singapore has pulled this move?
I don't. Wow. I think you can feel irked.
Yeah.
But I think it's fair game. I think what the Singapore government did is very shrewd and very astute.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say what they did was wrong.
Yeah. But that means if your neighbor, let's say you live next to your neighbor, then your neighbor say he starts to pay
Premier League
authorities.
Something.
Like not even Premier League star, like being able the rights to watch EPL or something like that, like through the cables. He can pay that such that only his house in the whole block can watch Premier League, despite of you being willing to pay the price for the subscription or something like that. But he wants every other house to not have that chance to watch Premier League.
Because he earned a lot of money.
He has a lot of money and he spends for it, and he just wants his house to feel exclusive.
It's fucked up.
If you want a guy, it's easy to say.
That guy can go to hell, man.
So
that's true.
If they paid Taylor Swift to say, okay, you can do as many concerts as you want here, we'll give you a thing. They will give you money to do that. Okay,
And then she decides.
And then she decides, then okay, But if they pay, they say, but you cannot go anywhere else, Then that's where is it a nice thing to have done,
What do you think?
I mean, the fact that the Thai Prime Minister is the one complaining about it now, must have meant that they are sour about it, They're really sour about it, There must have been some kind of exclusivity clause that where she's not even stopping in places like, think about it, even Korea.
Yeah.
Korea, she's not stopping
Japan.
there. Japan, she's stopping.
Korea,
But Korea, she's not stopping there. It tells you must have been something. I mean, Korea is is where a lot of big acts come from, like K-pop acts. So there can't be a logistical thing or a GDP per capita thing that guided that decision, right?
But then, doesn't it also reflect on Taylor Swift? I mean, she has leverage to negotiate whatever the hell she wants.
Yeah.
But her team took it.
Yeah. But the Southeast Asia, I think in the discussions already, some people raised the point that it can't be a logistical thing for a few points. Philippines, the stadium apparently can fit 55,000 or so. And so it's not a logistical thing. The only problem with the stadium is I've heard that it's old and getting in and out is very tough. Traffic is very bad, right? Things like that. And then the other side of it is that she's actually playing in Paris. And Paris, apparently, the stadium only can fit 40,000. So a lot less than both Singapore or Philippines or whatever. So it's not how many people can you squeeze into a stadium kind of thing either. But they did raise that people also then pointed out that if you play in Paris, it's very easy to train your stuff from one city to another because Europe is connected that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in Southeast Asia, it's hard to do that. You have to fly. There's no choice to fly between city to city. Even if the city is very close, like Singapore, KL, you have to fly. And that adds up the costs of moving around. So maybe there is a logistical issue in terms of moving stuff around that it becomes very costly when they have to do it, city to city in Southeast Asia versus city to city in Europe. So that's why maybe it just makes sense to just do it in one location.
But then when it comes to costing, I mean, this whole tour is going to make more than 2 million in revenue.
2 million?
2 billion.
2 billion. Oh, yeah.
And like, I'm guessing profit will be really healthy.
Yeah.
So then it becomes a cost saving thing.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, then it ruins the romance of the artistry.
Romance.
The romance of the art, the idealistic romance of the art about how even if you might not have the best stadium, the best sound system, if you can play in front of your biggest fans, doesn't that mean something?
It's a bit like Ed Sheeran, like the surprising thing, his first concert was at National Stadium.
Yeah.
The next night he played at the Capitol Theatre to a much smaller audience.
Yeah.
And apparently the tickets are much more expensive, right?
Yeah.
But there's that sense of like he wants to connect with the fans in a smaller venue and all that, right?
Yeah.
But not for Taylor Swift, right?
Yeah. So that's why, I mean, the more we talk about this, the more it's like, okay, so like it in some way it leads back to the butt, the feeling of the butt that I had. Because I was thinking, wow, this is fucking great. It's a coup for Singapore. I mean, it's funny, right? Like years ago, we were competing with other countries for vaccines, and now other countries are competing for natural resources, for food. Fucking, we are competing for Taylor Swift, right? It's first world problem to the max, first world problem to the max. And you think, wow, now Singapore, Singapore, I think we spoke about it before. 10 years ago, on a global stage, Singapore was still not the most well known. But now, like every week, we are in the news, global news for some reason or another.
Yeah.
But it feels like there's another step in the machine that is Singapore.
Yeah.
There's Taylor Swift, the machine, coming to Singapore, the machine. Then they like plug in, plug out.
Yeah.
And then we become like this very transactional country. And I know it's a good thing in general for the economy, for businesses and all that, but there's a part of it which feels like, okay, it's like, when you go to someone's house and everything is perfect.
Yeah.
The concrete, the edges are so sharp, there's no organic matter, anything, everything just looks perfect. It just feels like, wow, this is a bit soulless, if that's the word. I mean, if that's something like that. It doesn't feel that homely or imperfect to a certain extent. Now it feels like we are getting closer to like this shiny machine as a country. But is it a bad thing? Hard to say. I don't think it is. Because if the economy is doing well, that's great. If we become a hub for not just Taylor Swift, I mean, the fourth tower of MBS is going to have like this new performance venue also.
Yeah.
And maybe one day we can legitimately host part of the Olympics or the World Cup because we have all the infrastructure that's set up. That's fucking great.
Yeah.
But there's just something about it. It feels like, wow, it's very, very transactional.
Really? I mean, my thought always was that at least something like Taylor Swift or that coming is just, rather than just talking about Singapore as a financial center or stopover for the casinos or anything like that, it adds a dimension to traveling here, right?
That's true.
That people coming. I mean, and it felt like when Coldplay was here, it felt like an event, right? A week-long event, and we made fun of it, like how it felt like going to take a vaccine, like, oh, when's your turn for the
you went
concert?
I go next week.
You reserve when's your vaccination. But it really did bring some buzz in the air, right? And then every night when Chris Martin did something like with the audience members and all, people talked about it, right?
Yeah.
And I must really commend Coldplay for one aspect of things, is letting local or at least regional acts open for them.
Yeah.
Because Ed Sheeran didn't. He brought his opening act with him, Caleb Scott, also a big star himself. But it would have been cool, right, to see local engagement. But if it's just a 1-2 night performance, you also can't expect him to know what's happening. But Coldplay did it, and I think it added, this dimension of like, we're not just here to take your money, and just do the concerts and run off. We're here to also engage with the local community, right, and elevate them where we can as well.
Yeah.
So to your point, I mean, everything it feels transactional when you talk about the money side of things. But there's this added dimension of Singapore as a concert stopover that, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we never have imagined, right?
Yeah.
Like when Michael Jackson came to Singapore, it felt like, I don't know, for you,
it's fucking great.
It felt like God descended upon Singapore and that kind of feeling,
great,
right?
Yeah.
And that's might be what it'll be Singapore will feel like when Taylor Swift is here lor, for a whole week.
Yeah. I mean, I think, in general, I think it's a great thing. And like what you said, like, it adds another dimension. And as you think forward, it just opens up possibilities.
Yeah.
That, if we become like this hub for something that is other than finance, but something that in some way is more people-centric, right?
Yeah.
It's still bringing 60,000 people together.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, just going back to the question about whether the government did something that like what you never give your answer.
Huh?
You never give your answer.
Of what?
Whether you think that what the STB and MCCY say, you perform here alleged, because it's not confirmed.
Yeah.
That if they were to have put that in the contract that you take this grant, you cannot perform anywhere else.
Yeah. Maybe my guess is that they just said that they want it to be exclusively in Singapore, right? At the end of the day, if you're going to offer things like a $50,000 Taylor Swift package, MBS and all that, it better feel like a fucking exclusive experience, right?
Yeah.
You don't call it exclusive experience without backing up the word. So, I mean, it's that kind of thing. You don't have to, when you date someone, then you say, hey, let's go steady, that kind of thing. There's an understanding that from that moment on, you cannot go on LinkedIn, go on Tinder and start like swiping other people, right?
But that's because the norm is monogamy, generally.
Yeah, generally.
But the norm for artists is like polygamous concerts,
But you say, that's why I said if the contract said exclusive in the region, Asia x Japan or something like that. That's sort of your way of saying you can only have eyes for me, right?
Correct. So are you saying that they are totally fine doing that, or whether they are like the analogy you said, like if your neighbor suddenly said to start, okay, your EPL, you stop right here, don't go to the next store, I'll pay you more.
Yeah. I mean, that's capitalism at work. I in that sense, I think the ball's in Taylor Swift's court, right? To say whether she should do that or not, right?
Yeah. So, but that means if your neighbor does that and StarHub says, okay, no EPL for you,
I'll be that pissed off.
And who? The neighbor or StarHub?
Both, right?
So in this case, will you be? Are you annoyed at the argument, the government?
And am I annoyed at the government? No, I'm not.
No, because you're saying you will be angry at the neighbor and StarHub because you are denied the access to EPL, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, okay, take your Singaporean hat off.
So you're asking me if I'll be angry with the StarHub, right? Because StarHub is Taylor Swift, the provider of the...
No, even just now what you asked me, like whether what the government hypothetically could have done, saying, okay, we want you to be exclusive to Singapore, whether that's an asshole move, or it's just shrewd.
It's shrewd. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm not like a big Swiftie in that sense, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect me. But to hear that their tourism dollars come to Singapore is great.
So then why would you be angry at your neighbor if the neighbor says, I will pay you?
I would be angry at the neighbor if I was like a big EPL fan, right? I am an EPL fan, so I would be angry at the neighbor, right? So if I was a Swiftie in any other country, I'd be damn angry. Right?
Oh yeah, be damn angry.
Yeah.
But
I'd be angry.
Would you say what your neighbor did is wrong?
No. I think then I would say, hey, then what? Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, like, come on, we're your fans, please, come here.
So you think it'll hurt her brand?
I don't think so, because I think coming to Singapore is not as big a thing, It's not that big a deal, right? For people around the region also.
But I mean, if you are maybe like to fly to Singapore, get the hotel rate is all expensive, not cheap also.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So you're asking me if I was a Swiftie in any other Southeast Asian country, I would be angry with Taylor Swift. No lah. I mean, if you're a fan, you won't be angry with them. They make their decisions based on economics and all.
Is it?
Yeah. Why would you be angry?
You're telling me you have people that you are fans of and you never get annoyed at them when they do things that you feel like, hey, you disagree with.
But if the economics don't work, they don't work, right? Economics and all that don't work. They don't work, right?
Yeah, but you don't follow someone and be their fan because of economics, right?
But being a fan doesn't mean you must go to their concert and everything also, right? Like, I like Coldplay's song, but I didn't go to their concert, it's okay.
So who are you, like, hardcore fan of? John Mayer?
Say John Mayer, yeah.
So let's say John Mayer say he come to Malaysia and he said...
I'll go to Malaysia. To
Philippines?
I'll go to Philippines, yeah.
Because you can lah.
Yeah, of course if I can, yeah. I mean, what then you got to do? You're finding that particularly small demographic that are diehard fans of Taylor Swift that cannot afford to travel.
But wouldn't you wish that he would come to your country?
Of course, that'd be great. But even if they came, you know that tickets won't be cheap either. You'll be paying what you'll be paying in Singapore also, right?
Yeah,
Or Japan even. Yeah.
yeah.
And after that, it's about everything else around it. Like, is it affordable? I mean, if Taylor Swift was in Malaysia, tickets to Malaysia also would go up in price. And everything.
I mean, now tickets to Malaysia probably went up in price because people are flying down and then flying back up.
Yeah, correct.
So so I mean, like the way Singapore did this pretty cool.
Yeah. But do you think or anything that you think that we angry people who are like, wow, so much money spent on flying foreign talent here to why not that money go to local?
I mean, confirm have
any validity to that?
If you think about it, the local artists also, the fact that, I mean, we don't know who Taylor Swift's opening acts are going to be, right? But for Coldplay to come and give Jasmine Sokko and Riley a chance, it's fucking, even Jasmine Sokko on stage said that was the best week of her life.
Yeah.
And it's great, I mean, hopefully they come more often, then hopefully it makes it easier to get them on our podcast also. And I mean, even there was some local. Ed Sheeran went to do Teh Tarik at this Tarik Cafe in Arab Street. There's a local luxury watch strap brand that gave a watch strap to Ed Sheeran.
And got featured on his IG.
Yeah.
So it brings ancillary things to businesses here that you might not even hear about, right?
Yeah, man. So like, wow, Singapore.
Stepping up. Pissing off our neighbors.
Yeah.
Everything.
Like,
so,
cultural powerhouse. There's a Time article that talked about how, like, the title is From Coldplay to Taylor Swift, How Singapore Has Become a Favorite Venue for Top Artists and Why That's Upsetting Fans.
Yeah.
And they talk about it how being a long-term thing. Which in some way is something that we talk about, say, Singapore sports, right? It doesn't feel like there's enough long-term investment.
Yeah.
But if this is maybe their way of thinking, okay, let's build the other side of Singapore as a cultural or entertainment hub that is not casino, or F1, right? Feels okay lah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, F1 also, after all these years, how big of a fan of motorsport racing have you become?
No, not really.
Barely, right?
Barely.
And I think we also represent quite a big demographic of people who F1 happens, there's a little bit of buzz, but after that, you don't really follow the rest of the race already, right?
Yeah.
But I do know some people who became hardcore F1 fans after also, so maybe there is that group, right? But I would say F1 is still much more niche activity compared to like the Taylor Swift concert. So a bit different.
But yeah, man.
But yeah.
Cool.
So speaking about getting big stars to come exclusively to our country, right? Now we're seeing in this other story, we're seeing the flip side of that. Like, what can happen? What could be a disaster in trying to get someone to come exclusively to your country to do something, right? And we talked about this a little bit the last time.
Them not doing it.
Yeah. But there have been more developments since then. What is this story?
The latest development is that Lionel Messi, the football superstar, uploaded a video on his social media a couple of days ago that explained his perspective as to why he set out on a game in Hong Kong, but a few days later played in Japan for 30 minutes. So, and this was more about the allegations that, politics came into play. Like he has something against China and Hong Kong, and that's why he set out. But when he went to Japan, he played for 30 minutes. So he basically said that he had an injury leading up to the game. And even that morning, I think he tried but couldn't. So he set out. But the next few days, he got better, and that's why he could play in Japan. Then he said he has a very special relationship with China. He's been there like 7 times. I think even last year he played. So that video came out of him just standing at home. He looks like a secondary school kid. He's really a damn small size guy.
Yeah, he is.
And then subsequently, I mean, of course, the Chinese fans all got pissed off and they asked him, don't come. And apparently 2 Argentinian friendlies that were due to take place in March have been cancelled. I think they said, they were called off for the reason that everyone knows. So, this one, I mean, the last time we spoke about it, it was like, fans were calling for a refund for the Hong Kong game because they were fucking expensive. And I think the latest is that they will get 50% off refund.
50% refunds starting in March or sometime.
So I mean, interesting. Now he's like fucking public enemy number 1 of China, man.
And also I think Tatler Asia, who organized it, right? They said they are not going to continue applying for I think 43 million Hong Kong dollar grant that was afforded to them to organize this event. Lah.
They're not going to continue applying.
Yeah. So they're foregoing it, lah, which it comes up to about almost 2 million Sing. Lah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So all in all, they are going to lose some money from this. Lah. But the crazy thing is how the ripple effects of this have been going on into like even politics and all that, right? Where people are saying that what Messi did was a slap in the face to China and Hong Kong, especially considering it was Japan that he played at, right? And played for 30 minutes. Because like with even the Global Times newspaper, the English newspaper that is quite affiliated with China, they're even saying that he had a vibrant performance in Japan, lah. Yeah. So they're going to that extent to analyze how he was playing in Japan compared to just saying that he had a vibrant performance on the Japanese field. So it's kind of it seems to be like reverberating, and the fact that he's put out this apology tells you how kanchong everyone is about how his value will drop in China after this.
Yeah. And he uploaded to Weibo, man.
Yeah, direct to Weibo to reach the fans.
But I mean, so why do you want to talk about this?
I mean, we're just thinking about what we're talking about for Taylor Swift and all that, exclusivity of having this star come here. I mean, for sports, and this made me also go and look up what injury he had. He said it was the inflammation of his adductor
Hip
muscle,
abductor,
which is somewhere close to the groin and the hip area, right? Which I think, have you had those injuries before where it's like, you really can't walk, right? You can barely walk and every step is uncomfortable. Do you think there's anything that you can really blame him for at this point? Or is there any way back for him in the eyes of the Chinese?
I mean, I think for him, I don't know how much he cares, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you're Lionel Messi, achieve everything you can in global football, almost undisputedly the greatest ever of all time.
Yeah.
Would he care?
Money?
But fuck, dude, like, how much money is he getting already?
But how much money are you foregoing by not taking care of the Chinese
I think the bigger impact is like for Argentina lah. If I was a teammate in Argentina, then like this is prep for Copa Americas now, which is like the South American version of the Euros.
Yeah.
In July, I think. It's bleeding into the team's plans and training. That's the annoying part.
So you think that's the reason that he apologized on Weibo?
No. I think the reason he apologized is because, I mean, he's also a machine, his team and like the whole Messi brand. Probably there was some pressure because of the commercial side of it.
Yeah.
But at this point, I mean, it's just funny to watch this whole thing blow up to this extent.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. It's just weird.
But now apparently the Hong Kong like the Consumer Council, right? They received like 600 over complaints asking for refunds from the match. And I think they're going to start insisting that for international events like this, there must be a backup plan in case like your star player doesn't perform or something like that. But what could have been done to mitigate this kind of situation? I can't think of anything.
You don't play in Japan?
That means if they don't get Messi in Hong Kong, no Messi for Japan also. Well, the other is
so it's that tricky because who's going to tell Messi? The coach is probably going to like, fuck this politics shit.
Yeah.
If Messi can play, I want him to play.
Yeah.
If his PR team says, okay, don't. But then the coach and the club, he has obligation there.
Yeah.
So this is just like a shitstorm that feels like it couldn't have been avoided.
Yeah. I feel like maybe what they could have or should have done is maybe immediately schedule some kind of another stop or something like that in the tour, right? Or stay longer or something.
But that one, like you think about the ripple effects of that, it would screw up a lot of things, man.
Correct.
Might as well just force him to go on the field and walk around.
I can't remember exactly how it was last time, but I remember when the Michael Jackson came around and then he had to...
You're sick,
You're sick, right? For the second night of the concert, which you were there, right?
Yeah.
And then like the disappointment and everything. But the fact that after that, like they rescheduled another date, right?
3 days later.
3 days later. And he
2 days.
Do you remember if he stayed on like in Singapore and just...
I don't remember. I mean, probably the fact that it was 2 days later already extended his trip.
Yeah. So yeah, at least that gave some kind of like there's an option to, like have a backup date, right?
But that's
In case
because you're
something
coming to
happens.
see Michael Jackson. Even though, yes, a lot of the marketing had Messi at its forefront,
Yeah.
but it's still the team, what?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So that's why this is just a fucking unfortunate thing.
No, but I'm saying that's why maybe next time what they should do is that they should not have this kind of one-off, one day only possibility for a match, right? Where if they're going to do a tour, they probably can't just hit and run. They have to stay in a region for a longer period. Like Messi stay in Hong Kong for 3 days. Then maybe play like 2 friendlies or something, and then at least appear in one of them. Then at least something like that gives them an out in case he misses one game.
I think the safer thing is in the ticket. Just say there is no guarantee of everything. Because like that, then like you have to plan your trip. And if he's injured, what?
Yeah.
If he's injured one day, not to say 2-3 days later he'll be okay. Of course, this one when he went to Japan, he could come on the pitch.
Yeah.
But I think it is more the terms and conditions.
Yeah. I think that's the big slap in the face, that it was Japan. Literally, it was
exactly.
Japan after that, where he would play for 30 minutes or more. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then if you don't show up in Japan also, then people are like, hey, fuck lah, like you have to show up. So it's them weird lah.
But that's why this whole exclusivity thing, could blow up in someone's face also, right? Where people pay additional amounts of money to have you come exclusively to Hong Kong or whatever, and then you don't perform, and now even the government, the Chinese government, is angry with Messi and all these things. I mean that the fact that the Global Times and all that are writing such angry articles about him, it totally means that it's not just Hong Kong anymore, it's China basically.
So then do you think like Messi also should be more responsible, given that, with great power comes great responsibility?
I mean, from what I was reading, is that he didn't address the crowd after the game, to explain, or not even explain, but just to say, hi, thank you for coming, sorry I couldn't play, or something like that, right? I think that could have been done. I think it was only the coach and David Beckham that came out and tried to talk to the fans and all that, right?
So you feel that there is a responsibility of him as a global superstar?
Not say responsibility, but I think you must know how to be human, right? I think in Chinese there's this saying that 要懂得做人, how just to be a decent human being, right, to others. And if you know that many fans came down to watch you and the whole day they've been cheering for you, and after that you just blackface and everything. Asshole move. Yeah, it's just not pleasant, and it just adds fuel to the fire that there's some conspiracy that you're not happy with the government or something like that.
But I thought just now you say you don't get angry at fans if your stars, if your economics don't make sense. You're like, okay lah. No,
No, but if you are a fan who already paid to watch the star,
and
then the star just sits there and just doesn't, I'm not going to perform today. You'll be pissed off, right? Wouldn't you?
But I mean, I would be pissed off, but I was just like borrowing from what you said earlier about how some part of him doesn't work. For a singer, it can be the commercials. For athlete, your body is your product, right? So if your body doesn't work, then how can you be pissed off at him, Terence?
Correct, yeah. It's true also, it's true. So there are some, I mean, it's just a very unfortunate kind of situation.
It's a perfect storm for shit.
Perfect storm. The fact that Japan was the next stop in the tour, and it was literally only days after, and then suddenly he could play. I mean, it all just adds up to something.
So that's why it feels like Messi was in between playing video games with his kids. Someone said, can you please film this video? Okay, fine, I'll go up to my room, I'll film it. Then he looks like a student being punished, right?
And
then after that, I was like, okay, Ken, the lighting is shit, is grainy. And it's just, it feels like, just, okay, can you just do it, please? And then you go back to not giving a shit.
Yeah, maybe it kind of tells you also how sometimes global athletes, they don't understand different parts of the world, how different politics and people react to things. I think in the same way when the NBA had one of the NBA executives said something wrong about China, right? Said something bad about China. Or even John Cena when he mentioned the word Taiwan or something as a country. And the shitstorm that happened after and having to apologize, and all the NBA players like apologize. I don't even know what they were apologizing for, right? But it's almost like they all suddenly, this market operates very differently from the US, like where people don't think of themselves as like one nation, one government kind of thing. It kind of maybe shows you that sometimes these people around these athletes or these teams don't really understand that kind of thing that well, right?
And you can imagine, like, China has a reputation for investing a lot in other countries, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, with their own political agenda and all.
Yeah.
You can imagine, let's say, if China has investments in Argentina.
Yeah.
I don't know, if this can bubble up to that level.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, sorry, your Messi don't want to play here in Hong Kong, then too bad lah. Our thing we push back.
Yeah.
So then Messi will get pressure not just from his own PR team, is even like the powers that be lah,
National pressure.
That even Messi is accountable to lah.
Yeah.
So, but this one is just a ridiculous situation that could have been avoided, maybe couldn't have been avoided. It was just a car crash in slow motion.
As a Messi fan, would you be angry if he like they did this?
Am I a Messi fan? I mean, I respect him a lot.
Yeah.
If I what? You what?
If Inter Milan came to Singapore, you paid like $500 to go and watch them. And,
Inter Miami, sorry,
yeah. Come to Singapore, you pay $500 to watch them.
I'll be damn pissed.
You'll be pissed, right?
I'll be pissed.
To this level where you would disown him as a fan and everything.
No lah, I don't want to disown him lah. Yeah. But I mean, like, so much we hear about China, the netizens in China, they're damn angry. What?
Yeah.
Singaporean also say something about China, kena fucking slam,
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, it's just on the internet. So maybe this. Yeah, it's just funny to watch lah.
But no, let me ask you: do you think it's a good thing that fans are having this kind of voice that pressure the stars into don't just treat us like
Yeah, I think so.
You think it's a good thing?
I mean, I'm glad they at least got a refund. They made a demand for a refund because of how it was marketed. Like, oh, Messi is on the poster, his face, it doesn't show up. Then it's like you're paying for a musical, but they are not playing all the songs.
Yeah.
Or something like that, especially when the songs are publicized.
Yeah.
So maybe it might even change like marketing of games.
Yeah.
Have Inter Miami be like that and then featuring, like this. So at least if one of them is injured, if Luis Suarez was injured, you think there'd be that big an issue? Right. I mean, some big clubs have come to Singapore without their stars.
Yeah.
But everyone's like, okay lah, shit. Oh, he's not coming, but fuck. But this one is like the Messi machine lah,
Yeah.
So it's pros and cons. If you want to use him and to spearhead your marketing, sure. But then if he can't play, then it's a risk you have to mitigate lah.
Yeah, they may need to have some kind of refund clause lah. If Messi doesn't play, he will get back whatever money.
Yeah, so maybe even signing of contracts with players.
Yeah.
There are times in the past also where a player who becomes so big changes things. Like I think Jordan was the first superstar to sign a deal with Nike of that sort, right? Where he gets a royalty from every shoe.
Yeah.
And maybe in future when you sign a superstar, this has to be back to that. Like if you don't show up for a game, passport or tour, your salary, your compensation gets ducked or something.
Because for Messi is important because I think his contract gives him like percentage sale of the merchandise into my
merchandise of Apple, Apple TV also because they got the exclusive rights to MLS.
Yeah.
So it's a multifaceted deal.
Yeah.
So maybe the contracts all have to be updated also because also we have never seen a star until like Messi level or even Cristiano Ronaldo level.
Yeah.
Things have to be updated lah.
Yeah.
Shitstorm, man.
Shitstorm. But yeah. Messi to say the least.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But yes, besides that, what on a happier note, what is your one Shiok comment?
My one Shiok comment is wait, are you gonna do the one that okay, why don't you go first? Then if you don't say that, then I'll say it.
Yeah. No, someone has created some very interesting memes that they alerted us to based on me and our videos on Yalla Butler, right?
Yeah.
Where basically he has created a meme about why I always dress like a Pikachu on the Yalla Butler, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the things about video. You can see what we're wearing and all.
Yeah.
So it's just a funny meme because he really puts them side by side, right? Some stuff that Pikachu has worn before, right?
Yeah.
And the caption is, why is Terrence from Yalla Butler always dressed like a Pikachu?
Yeah.
So that's my one Shiok comment.
And I mean, and it's posted on his own meme account, which he just started. So you guys can check it out. It's MemeDeaCorp SG.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Correct.
I fucking love that meme.
Yeah, and
Because
the name of the account is good as well.
yeah, and like the meme of you and your shirts are really
Yeah,
spot on.
spot on.
Spot on. Okay.
Uh,
Yes.
My one Shiok thing is a comment on the podcast episode we did about Leong Man Wai and getting the POFMA and Stera.
Yeah.
When we were talking about, oh, how come Leong Man Wai deleted his Facebook post? A Redditor, Fuji Shiba, posted quite convincingly. I haven't verified it, but what they say is a correction direction does not prohibit its recipient from deleting the offending communication where it contains a false statement of fact, which is abbreviated as FSOF. It only requires the recipient to communicate in a specified form and manner a correction notice which states that the offending communication contains an FSOF and goes on to explain the rationale behind it. So in building on that, what Leong Man Wai did was not wrong, that he deleted the post. So written very convincingly.
Yeah.
So it sounds credible. So thanks for sharing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty awesome.
And what about your one Shiok thing?
My one Shiok thing is, I know last week or one of your one Shiok things was Mark Zuckerberg, right?
Yeah.
Video Mark Zuckerberg reviewing the AirPods. The Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
Over the weekend there was a UFC event, UFC 298. And you know Zuckerberg is very big at MMA, so he was cornering the champion Alex Volkanovski. And there's this really funny meme of like a video of Mark Zuckerberg as Volkanovski was getting ready for the fight, taking off his shirt and getting weighed and everything. Not weighed, getting like what do you call it, put the grease on his face and everything. He was handing his shirt to his corner, and Zuckerberg was there, like bobbing his head to the music, trying to look like involved, and like he kept putting his hand out to help take the shirt or the shoes, but everyone just kept ignoring him and then moving past him. And it just become a meme, like everyone's just laughing about it, like how I am at like my uncle's birthday parties and stuff like that. He just looked like every dude who's like in a situation like that they're not familiar with and looking so out of place and all. So I just thought it was damn funny. And I watched that event also, and I also was watching Mark Zuckerberg in the audience, like just trying to like blend in, like bobbing his head to the music and stuff like that. It just looks funny. Because
I saw that.
Besides that, he also sat ringside during the match, and he looked like a billionaire asshole doing that. Because in one of the fights, the fighter who he's friends with literally picked up his opponent at Henry Cejudo and slammed him in front of Zuckerberg and like was talking to Zuckerberg while fighting,
Oh, is it?
Yeah, almost, and the guy was dominating, right? And it just looked like while he's talking to his billionaire friend ringside.
He was talking.
Yeah, it was like, it's that kind of like showboating, like I'm beating this guy up, and still having a conversation with you. Then Zuckerberg was clapping and laughing along and stuff like that. So it felt like that kind of like billionaire asshole at a UFC event kind of thing, right? I mean, there's a lot of those, like there's Trump and everyone who goes. So, but to watch Zuckerberg looking really awkward, and that thing was damn funny.
Wow, solid. Cool. My one Shiok thing is a video essay by Vox that was actually uploaded 9 months ago about the movie or media studio A24. Because A24 is something that was a studio that was only founded 2012, I think.
Yeah.
But they have made movies like Moonlight, Ladybird, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Beef, and it's become a lot more well known as a brand. I don't know to people who are maybe not in the industry how well you know A24, but this video talks about like how the title is like how A24 took over Hollywood, and it's quite inspiring in the sense that just broadly they started off like buying rights to very creative films that are independent films made by independent filmmakers, but with a very unique style. And then they started producing their own movies and TV shows to the point that now I think when you watch a show, there's this A24 look that is identifiable. Then they also have merchandise. So compared to the more traditional studios like Paramount and MGM and all, A24 does some cool shit. And interesting to see the movies and TV shows they come out with, because they're not your normal, more blockbustery, very commercial films, but they still do well.
But TLDR, how would they be different from the focus features or the Annapurna?
What's the focus features?
Focus features used to be this independent movie arm of I can't remember which studio but basically they were doing all these indie movies back in the day.
Yeah.
I think like Sideways, for example, that kind of movie.
Yeah.
Or Annapurna, which did like what's that? Zero Dark 30, for example. They were doing these indie films that are low budget and somehow managed to crack the US market, international market. So what is A24 doing different from those studios?
I think like just based on this, like the type of shows they make have a very unique style. I think what they claim is like they give the director as much creative freedom as they want.
Yeah.
And also I think it's a combination of course luck and just betting on the right choices.
Okay.
Because they work with like Greta Gerwig, who I think had directed a previous show before, but let me see. So she co-directed a film before that, but her first film, Lady Bird, was her solo directorial debut.
Yeah.
And since then she's gone on to become one of the best directors in Hollywood. So I think it's a combination of things. It seems like they're very good at spotting talent.
Okay.
Even Moonlight, it was the first show in 8 years that the director made.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he's not going to appeal to the traditional studios, but they took a gamble.
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of a bunch of things that sound replicable, but I don't know, the people behind it, maybe they understood it, They had a very unique style. They make bets that worked. And they also focus on movies that are of lower production scale. Because I think the past few years, they have put out more movies than all the bigger studios.
I see.
Yeah. So I think it's a combination of things. But I think it's like when you look at a director and they have a unique style of movies, I think A24 as a studio, they also make unique style content. So it's quite inspiring in that sense.
I see.
Yeah, and they just describe the evolution of it and the founding, and I'm like, hey, shit, can there be something like that from out of Singapore? I don't know.
So it's got nothing to do with a demographic play, like 88 Rising.
No, I don't think it's a demographic play. Yeah, it's more like shows that are kind of weird and eccentric.
Yeah.
And very stylized. Like Euphoria also, I think, was by them.
I see.
So it's that kind of show.
Got it.
And they've come up with a brand also like, oh, that's an A24 show, A24 film.
Yeah.
And they have a very fucking strong community. Like when they do drops of their merchandise, right, it sells out.
I see.
Which you never see MG or Paramount or Universal doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite interesting. Quite a nice watch.
It's cool.
Cool, man.
All right.
Awesome. That's just the end of the podcast. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow, and if you want to work with us, email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com. Cool. Thanks for listening, everybody.